I see someone we really want to talk to. Balsa Bill, come here. Can you join us? Hey, how are you? Thanks for being here. So Balsa Bill is with Balsa Bill Surf Shop. Bill Yerkes is his real name.
Right.
Where did Balsa originate from, the Balsa Bill?
Well, I build and ride balsa wood surfboards, and so they just started calling me Balsa Bill a few years ago.
So you said you used to ride. When did it all start for you? When did your love for surfing begin?
When I was a little kid, my dad came back from Korea, the Korean War, 1952, and he took me out on a surf mat. He'd come back through Hawaii, and he brought me a really nice pair of pineapple trunks with pineapples all over them. And
Do you still have those?
I wish I did. I still have the shirt that he brought me, though. And he took me out surfing on a surf mat. And then later, we had an 8-foot balsa wood plank that we surfed on. And then and that was in the 50s in New Jersey, of all places. And so that's how I got started on surfing, and I was just fascinated whenever I'd see anything about surfing on television, or which you didn't see it very often,
Right.
but you'd see anything about surfing on TV back in the late 50s or the 60s. I was just fascinated. And then a trip to California in 1961, and of course surfing was exploding there, and I came back and was actually one of the people that brought surfing to the East Coast in the 60s.
Oh, wow. So a lot of people may or may not know, but Balsa Bill was a TV star. That's right. Your favorite character, what was it?
That I ever played?
Yes.
Gee. Well, I did. I actually worked. I think the favorite thing I ever did was I worked with Uncle Pete Boyle, who was Peter Boyle's father. Peter Boyle, the actor that was, been in movies and TV. And I actually worked with his father, so that's how old I am. I worked.
What character were you playing?
Well, it was just the kid. I was always the kid. Usually I was Billy, but I was whatever the kid was in in whatever the scenes were. We did a lot of shows together back in the 50s and the early 60s.
And you said that's when your love for surfing began. So I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes in the sport. What are you seeing change today? The new technologies, the styles?
Actually, the more things change, the more you say, well, gee, I've seen this before. They talk today about molded boards. We used to call them pop-outs back in the 60s. And actually, that's when I first saw them, was in the 60s, molded surfboards. And they're doing them again. For years, you didn't have molded surfboards, and now they're back again. Same thing with my balsa boards. We had balsa boards back in the 50s, and today we've got balsa boards again. So it just seems like they talk about epoxy. The first foam surfboard that I ever saw was made with styrofoam and epoxy. So whatever I see that seems to be new, it seems like we saw it before.
That's how the world works. I grew up loving strawberry shortcake. Now she's back, and I'm thinking, I loved her. I'm so glad she's back. But it's just like the surf world, like you said, things come back.
They come back again, yeah, and again and again.
So in television and in the surf world, I'm sure you've had a lot of victories in your life. What would you say is the biggest victory in your life?
The biggest victory in my life is probably to make it to 61 years of age after all the stuff that we went through over the years. The biggest victory, I have no victories.
None?
No,
I find that hard to believe, Balsa Bill.
To me, life is a wave, and you just catch the wave and you ride the wave. God sends you the wave, and you pick it up and you ride it.
Leave it to a true surfer. Thank you so much, Balsa Bill, for joining us on the purple carpet.
Thank you, Michelle.